The 1993 Wisconsin Badgers shocked the college football world, winning both the Big Ten and the Rose Bowl that season. And this weekend, 25 years later, that team will be honored during Wisconsin's home game against Nebraska under the lights at Camp Randall. Head coach of that team, now the longtime athletics director at Wisconsin, Barry Alvarez, kind enough to join us. Barry, I'm sure there are so many memories from 1993. What are some of the most vivid memories that you still have of that season and that team?
Well, you have to remember, to clinch the right to go to the Rose Bowl, we had to play Michigan State in Tokyo. So to prepare to take a team, a 12-hour flight to go to Tokyo, Japan, spend a week there, and win that game to get to the Rose Bowl. Then, of course, the Rose Bowl experience was off the charts.
Barry, I know the rallying cry, the team motto that year was, "Why not Wisconsin?" What was the origin of that?
Well, I think we were 6-0, and in the press conference after the game, and I never allowed my players to talk about anything more than the next game, and let alone championships. And one of the writers asked Joe Panos, one of our captains, are you thinking about, would you have a chance, or do you think you have an opportunity to win the Big Ten championship? And he looked at him, just cold stare, and just said, "Why not Wisconsin?" And I think that opened a lot of our guys' eyes up, and they started thinking the same thing.
Barry, it ended out in Pasadena, and it ended with the school's first ever Rose Bowl victory. Obviously, plenty of trips out west since then. As you look back on that victory 25 years ago, how much do you think it set the table and the standard for what this program has now accomplished over the past quarter century?
This had a lot to do, this season, and this team had a lot to do with the success of our entire athletic program, not just football. But it set a standard. We said we were going to build a good foundation. We didn't want a peak and valley team, and that's what we've been. We've been very consistent since then. And, you know, being able to fill the stadium then now allows the rest of the department, you know, financially to handle budgets for all your sports, allows you to build facilities and do the things necessary to be competitive. So this team is the one that turned this whole athletic program around.
Barry, I'm going to go back even further, some 50 years ago, to your playing days in college at Nebraska. It's the Huskers this weekend against Wisconsin. When the Badgers play Nebraska, do memories get stirred up for you of those playing days and when you used to put on number 33 for the Cornhuskers?
Well, I have some teammates here this weekend, so we reminisce a little bit about those days, but it was so long ago now. But I have great memories of Nebraska, though. I had a great experience there, great education, and some of my best friends still to this day are teammates from Nebraska.
Barry, you've had a huge influence as a player, as a coach, and for the first 3 years of its existence as a member of the College Football Playoff Committee, what do you think the playoff and the committee has done right so far, and what still needs to evolve to make it even better?
Well, I think one of the things that was right, we've had the right people in the room making decisions. That's a quality group of people. It's diverse. A lot of people with different ideas, how they watch games. I think everyone, the thing that I liked, everyone came in prepared. Everyone was confident and comfortable in speaking their mind. Then you made decisions. You know, I stated a couple weeks ago that, and I always felt very comfortable with 4. I think the playoff has been great for college football. It's been one of the best things we've ever done in college football. But looking at our league, not being in a championship game, our champion not being in the Final Four doesn't sit well with me, and I'm sure some of the other conferences have felt the same way. I could live with 6 someday. I could live with 2 more teams, giving the top 2 seeds a bye. Doesn't take the season much longer. I was never much for going too many games because of the wear and tear on the players, but I think going to 6 teams could work.
And I think that will be a debate that will obviously continue both for and against that idea. Barry, you started by talking about the right people on the committee. I think the right person is the way that most people would describe Paul Chryst and the fit that he is at Wisconsin. It's not just the numbers. It's not just 37-8. It's not just 3-0 in bowl games, back-to-back trips. But he just seems like such a natural fit, having played there, being a Platteville guy. How do you describe Paul's relationship with this program and the way that he is a seamless fit inside not just the team, but the school as a whole?
Well, I understand Paul grew up right down the street. His father was a very successful high school coach, was on Dave McClain's staff here before he went to Platteville. So Paul grew up with Wisconsin football. He understands the state. The high school coaches in the state trust him and know Paul. He is what you see is what you get with Paul. And the thing that I think everyone realizes, it's about the kids first. And the players love him. The players want to play for him. He's just what Wisconsin's all about. Having played here and coached here, probably sold Coke at games as a kid. But he understands our state. He understands the football. He understands the formula that it takes to win here.
Last thing, Barry, and then we'll get you out of here. It's a night game. I've been to many up at Camp Randall. It is a special experience for those who haven't been able to enjoy a football game at the camp under the lights. In a few words, could you describe what that is like, even with as many as you've seen at this point?
I love night games here. It's electric. I think the fans get into it, it just, the feel of the place is different than an afternoon game. It's special. And we've had some big wins here at night.
Barry Alvarez, Wisconsin Athletic Director, always generous with the time. Barry, truly appreciate it. I'll catch up with you tomorrow at the stadium.
Very good. See you tomorrow.